Hello, friends and family. Coming to you again. Um, this video is about things that are going on in Africa. I don't know how many of you have been watching all the things that have been going on in Africa as of late, but more and more French run states in Africa have been kicking France out. And the European alliance, of course, is against this, and they basically tried to use strong arm tactics to force um, these states or countries in Africa to allow France to recolonize them. But because of the strong resistance, not only from military but from the people in Africa, they can't do so. But recently, I was watching a video from the African diaspora, um, and it's about something America's about to do. You know, there is a bill that's in Congress now, which is called the Countering Malign Russian Activity in Africa Act, which, according to this bill, would give America the right to go in and basically subjugate them to European rule again. Now, this all has a lot to do with what's going on over here. See, the more that are awakened here, the more risks that they will have of losing control of Africa. Because the whole world is waiting and watching us. Because we are the beginning of African freedom. Now, the idea basically is to, even if we do return to Africa, they will still be under European control. So their thoughts are, even though we will be returning home to take our rightful place in the true Israel and Judah, that they still will have total control over us. But if you follow the Bible, that's what the Bible has been calling for and has been prophesizing. The War of Armageddon. And I don't know how many of you have took the advice that I gave you to read one particular book, the Book of Melchizedek, but it's spelled in the way Portugal would spell it. But the last chapter, The Secret of the Universe, basically speaks of this. And this is becoming reality more and more. Now, America has nothing to do with what's going on in Africa. But now they are wanting to flex their muscles to try to control what is not theirs to control. Now, they also have a think tank that came up with this initiative, which is called the 2019 Global Fragility Act, which basically will give them all the authority to go in and basically slaughter as many people as they can to regain control of Africa. Well, the Bible has spoke about this. But the Bible is also giving us these things for a reason. And that is that it is still possible to change the destiny. You see, just like before the flood, that he sent Noah and Methuselah for over 100 and some years to try to get the people to convert back and worship the Most High again. But they were so evil, they didn't. Now, one of the reasons why I tried so hard to point out to you guys who our adversaries are was for particular reasons like this. And I pointed out to you, when you look at their track record, who do they resemble in their ways? The descendants of Cain. Lawlessness, murder, anything to keep their power. You would be surprised how many of the Caucasian race actually know who we are. But it doesn't matter who we are if they are ready to go to war with us. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because we have choices. One of the choices are to bombard your congressman to vote down that bill. The other is, I don't know how many of you are familiar with what Minister Farrakhan is planning, but he's planning basically another Million Man March. And he has the Baptists, all kind of religious factions behind him that will march with him. You know, I told you a while back that we should march. The reason was because prevent persecution. Now, we've gotten far beyond that now. So I'm asking all of you to contact your congressman. Tell everybody that you know to do the same thing. Because whether or not America knows what they're doing, they're about to start a war worldwide. Because let's face one simple fact. This entire world would be a third world country if it was not for the riches of Africa. That's why they're fighting so hard to keep control of them and keep them in poverty. But they're tired, as they should be. And the need and want to govern them own selves is spreading like wildfire throughout Africa, as it should be. But they need our support. And many of you will sit back and say, well, there's nothing I can do. But yes, there is. You can march, you can protest, and you can let them know that we are not going to go quietly into the good night. I'm not saying go violent, no. A peaceful march. If our leaders contact Minister Farrakhan, he will make sure that they know that we are marching with them. Then the whole world will watch. Because the whole world has been waiting for us to unite and stop acting like crabs in a barrel. Because we are the key to this whole equation. But we sit back like we got all the time in the world. And before you know it, it's going to be too late. I am not a radical person. I'm a patient person. And I believe in peace. Anyone who believes in the Most High and believes that we are the chosen people should all believe in peace. Because that's part of what His kingdom is about. Peace and selflessness. Truth. Now this bill has been floating around, and I was wondering why all of a sudden these Republicans have been distracting us with all that is going on about Biden. That's a smokescreen. So we won't pay attention to what they're doing until it's too late. Cain with the help of the descendants of Esau, I should say the descendants of Cain with the help of the descendants of Esau, know how to hide in plain sight. So while we're watching this hand right here is planning our destruction. We have to stop sitting around on our hands and saying that's not for us to deal with. You see, the Most High gave us freedom of choice so we would not have to wait for him. We know what's right and what's wrong. But are you willing to sit by idly while they murder Israelites in Africa in droves? Because once they finish with them, who do you think they're coming for next? They've already started with us here, but in a controlled manner because they can't let the whole world see the terror until they get to the opportunity of now the whole world will turn against us. Because they're going to use our own military, which is substantial when it comes to people of color, to do these things. Now, I don't know how many of them will not have enough of a conscience to go over and murder their own people. You know, everybody wants freedom, but freedom's not free. It costs. So I ask you, any of you who watch this video, do the research. Like I said, one of the bill that is already passed the House and on its way to Congress is the Countering Malign Russian Activity in Africa Act. And then also the 2019 Global Fragility Act, which is advice coming from American think tank telling them that basically we're going to have to claim and go over and go to war with Africa to stabilize it, which is something they've always said. Oh, we're going to stabilize them. We're going to educate them. We're going to turn them into good Christians, which is short for colonize them again. And once they do that, what do you think they're going to do here? We just as well be back in slavery at that point. Because when that happens, they're going to have the rest of their brothers united against us. I love my people, but my people seem to be scared. They want to hide. I look at most of the videos, and there are very few who are willing to put their face in front of the camera. But it's time now to show that we are not afraid anymore. He did not give us a heart of fear. And the Bible basically tells us, fear no man, fear only the Most High. So at some point, we have to make a stand. The question is, when we choose that time, will it be too late? Or will it be in time to stop the madness that's about to happen? I've always known that World War III would not be what most people thought it would be. World War III is going to be for control of Africa, the motherland, our home. Yes, I live here in America, but I also know I'm not wanted here in America. Yes, they stole this land from us, but we came here because the Most High directed the descendants of Joseph to come here to escape Babylon and the destruction of Israel. So those that said that we were the first here are right. But in the same token, this was a safety net. Because the Bible all spoke of my hidden ones. Well, the ones that were here in Americas were the hidden ones. When Christopher Columbus came here, it wasn't by accident. They were in search of the hidden ones. They had the Bible, they read the Bible just like we do. And they knew somewhere there was hidden ones. But in our voyages to Africa, they learned of where the hidden ones were. And they came after us. And it was intentional that some of those on those ships were sick because they knew that they would infest those here and weaken them. Everything they've done with guile. Remember, Esau was a hunter. And at the back of all of this were the descendants of Esau. To get revenge upon us for the birthright they thought they should have had. Even though the Bible said, no, you shouldn't have had it. So I'm asking you, and I'm begging you to be honest. It's time to stand up. Because what's about to come is going to be one of the most ugliest scenes that any generation has ever faced. Unless you strategically move now. And I'm just hoping that this message will reach some who will stand up and march with Farragon. Yes, that's not our religion, but neither is Baptist, and they do not mix with the Muslims. But it's all about one thing. That's being black. And being the chosen people in the light of the world that we were meant to be. If we handle this right, then these things don't have to happen. But it's squarely up to you. I thank you for watching this video, and may the Most High bless you, keep you safe, give you the wisdom to overcome the things that are coming, and give you utter trust in Him. Because if you put your faith in Him, there is no weapon formed against you that can conquer you. Thank you, and I hope this touches your heart.